Baptist Church Incorporated presents the 53rd anniversary of Reverend Dr. Ruth Singletary on Saturday, November the 10th, 2012. Doors open at 2. Program starts at 3 at the New Covenant Temple of United Holy Church of America, 1805 Amsterdam Avenue, a corner of 149th Street in New York City. From Mississippi, it will be the Jackson Southerners. From Mississippi, the 5 Blind Boys. The Timothy Wright Memorial Choir.
Whatever the time, Lord, please,
The Gospel Slide Minister, Brother Derek Smith. The legendary Roscoe Robinson, formerly of the Blind Boys of Mississippi and Alabama. Little Sammy and the Mighty Flying Clouds. Deacon Williams and the Soul Converters. The Peoples Brothers. Eddie and the Joy Wonders. The Sunset Jubilees. The Fantastic Soulineers. Brother Lenny Stewart Jr. Your MC, Sister Liz Black, Sister Virginia Cotton, and Dalton Anderson. It's all happening on Saturday, November the 10th at the New Covenant Temple of United Holy Church of America, 1805 Amsterdam Avenue, a corner of 149th Street in New York. No tickets at the door. No tickets at the door. For information, you can call 347-346-8365. That's 347-346-8365. Dr. Ruth Singletary's 53rd anniversary featuring the Jackson Southerners. Saturday, November the 10th. Saturday, November the 10th. For more information, 347-346-8365. This is Dalton Anderson. I'll see you there.
Good morning, Harlem. Want to wake you up this Monday morning. Want to shake you up this Monday morning. Hope all is good. I'm here. You're here. We'll be right back with you. You're listening to Street Corner Resources Live. Iesha, Sekou, Talib Hudson, holding it down. We'll be right back with you.
Full fever, 9mm. Them I want a heater, cause the streets is finna heat up. 6 million ways to die, choose 10. And if he don't die, then he probably do him again. A passionate catastrophe, the genocidal blasphemy. No respect for humanity, they resort to insanity. Head bang on the glass, call it window pane. Jumping out the window, trying to get my frame through the frame. Close range, when he point, I just blank out. My heart sank when the bang thing out. Now you got your thing out. You take life, you give it. You took his life away, but you gave yours up to the system. No one to listen, no reason for living. We bought the lie, we can't be forgiven for all our sinning. Killing is the religion, services in the prison. Ignorance got a slave, and our name is in the mentions.
war, crime, violence, war, crime, violence, war, crime, violence,
bad man, gunman, bad man. Squeeze bullet papa, body bag man. No bother with no war, no bother with no violence, no bother with the 6 feet, rest in peace, silence.
Grew up under Tupac, Bible verse and 2 Glocks. Say we ready to die, see a ghetto in the sky. Couldn't be more wrong than right shoes on the left feet. Highway to hell and we fighting for the best seat. No heart, bullets got no name. Little boys wanna bang, but them belly got your brain. Them belly got aim, but they shooting for nothing. They rob a sister of a brother for a couple of $100. They thinking that life is cheap, but it's expensive as ever. They'll be sentenced to forever for them heartless endeavors. I try to tell them,
simmer down, brother.
But they like whatever. Too scared of being broke to think about being better. Plus we get bombarded by all these images of bravado. You ain't really a man if you don't follow these models. But the weakest ones follow. The strong reconsider. You can forgive much if you understand you forgiven.
war, crime, violence, war, crime, violence, war, crime, violence, violence, violence,
Bad man, gunman, bad man. Squeeze bullet papa, body bag man. No bother with no war, no bother with no violence, no bother with the 6 feet, rest in peace, silence.
imagine waking up to a phone call telling you that your child was killed? How about seeing your little cousin lying in the street with a gunshot wound? Or reading in a daily paper that the star basketball player in your school was shot and killed? When young children and teenagers die without getting the chance to experience life, it not only affects parents, it affects us all. Violence in the city of New York has been on the rise for too long because our youth lack opportunities. Kids hanging on the street corners in Harlem need alternatives, like job trainings. So help become a solution. Join Street Corner Resources. Street Corner Resources is at the forefront in helping to eliminate gun and gang violence. They also provide education, employment training, and other resources to the community. For more information on how you can join or support Street Corner Resources, visit streetcornerresources.org. Don't allow children to fail. Allow them to choose.
Good morning, Harlem. Hope all is well with you. Want to give a shout out to my brothers, Bill Pickett and Mtume and, that whole open line crew. Got to give them a shout out. We were on the show yesterday, and actually they brought myself, Iesha Sekou, Erica Ford, and Sister Donna Jackson with her extension cord. They brought us back. We were there last week live at the Circle of Sisters. Evidently, we turned up the heat on this violence issue, and especially where it concerns women. And, I'm not trying to put it out there in a way that's not good, but women are at the front of this movement to help eliminate gun violence in our community. And we do need more brothers, no bashing, but we just need more brothers. We need brothers to take a stronghold. And we had that conversation, but it's not about bashing. But the show was hot, evidently, because everybody tweeted, text, Facebook, and whatever else they do, Uvu and all that stuff. And they called and said, we got to have you sisters back. And we were. And the show was, I think, excellent. We do a lot of different things to help eliminate gun and gang violence, and we do it in a lot of different ways. And, it takes us all. And I don't want to just say it takes a village. We know the village has changed, and everybody in the village is not participating in saving our children, and that includes some of us. So anyway, just want to give them a shout out. Open Line, big shout out to you. And their show is on Sundays, so I got to give them a shout out. Sundays, I think it starts at 9 to 10. You can pick up Reverend Al Sharpton, and from 10 to 12, it's Mtume and the whole crew. So good morning to you. And in case you're listening, thank you for tuning in to WHCR 90.3 FM. You are listening to Street Corner Resources Live. I'd like to give a shout out to my mama. Hey, Ma, hope all is well with you. Hope you're holding down the vendors on 125th Street. We'll bring you all in to talk about that issue, because I understand they're still taking vendors' merchandise, NYPD. Come on now. We got enough crime going on that we could leave the vendors alone, let them live, and let them eat. I don't understand that there are people on 125th Street who are vendors selling legitimate products that have changed. Some of them have changed their lives dramatically, and they're visible. You take their products, so you can make them invisible again. So we don't want that to happen. Invisible, doing some things that we wouldn't want to see in our community. So let's step it up. Let's take care of the real game. Let's deal with this gun and gang violence and all these other issues in our community. At the same time, got to give NYPD a shout out for the gun seizures that were made. I think was close to 50-something guns. I don't know exactly, but we'll talk about that. So big shout out to Commissioner Kelly and DA Cy Vance. Cy Vance has been on this show. Got to give the credit where the credit is due when it is due. And so we want to give NYPD and the DA's office a big shout out for taking guns off the street. Leave the vendors alone. Anyway, big shout out to Mateen, the visionary. Thank you for the wake-up call. I'd like to give a shout out to Harlem Renaissance High School, Bread and Roses. Big shout out to Papa on his way to school this morning. I love you for all that you do, Papa, doing the right thing, good thing. I think he's at Kappa 4 is his school. So big shout out to Kappa 4 in the same building as Bread and Roses. Thurgood Marshall, all my folks over there, big shout out to you. PS 92, Principal Davila, big shout out to you as well. And if I left anybody out, Talib, we got any shout outs on your side? Wait a minute. And we got Talib Hudson. I got to tell you, Talib is in studio. He got his alpha look on, the gold shirt, black suit, black tie. And for those that don't know, Talib has been co-hosting with me. and he's an alpha man and is finishing up his master's, and I'm sure he's soon to do a PhD. And he's doing some other great things. So, Talib, what's up this morning? Good morning to you.
Good morning to you, Sister Iesha Sekou. Can everybody hear me all right? Okay, excellent.
Uh-oh.
I was just double checking.
Yeah.
I do want to give a shout out both to my mother and my father. My father actually is in China right now. I asked him to listen online at whcr.org, but he was having some internet issues, so I hope that he is able to tune in case you don't know, my father is Brother James Muhammad, former Eastern Secretary for the Nation of Islam. Shout out to Muhammad Mosque number 7 and Brother.
Oh yeah, they did a powerful thing yesterday. The celebration of the Million Man March.
Right. The Day of Atonement with the live webcast of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. So we'll shout out also to Brother Minister Abdul Hafiz as well. Since you did mention graduate school, just want to let people know that the new school is having a grad school open house on November 10th, and CUNY is also having a graduate school open house on November the 8th, and we'll post that information on our Facebook page and we'll tweet it. If you go to Twitter, you can go to @StreetCornerRes, that's @StreetCornerRes, and likewise you can find us on Facebook as well. Thank you very much, Sister Iesha.
Hey, no problem. I'm glad to have you here this morning. It looks like somebody's like holding on our line, so I'm going to drop this call because I don't know where it came from. And we just want to say good morning to everybody in studio. We're going to move right into our first segment. We're waiting on Pastor Williams, so any call-ins for the time that Pastor Williams is on the show, we're going to ask you to put that on hold. We'll prompt you when it's a good time to call in. And in studio, we have, now you know I don't have my glasses this morning, Ismail Shamsuddin, along with Eric Shamsuddin. And Ismail Shamsuddin is the CEO and president of, say the name of your company, brother.
First of all, good morning, Sister Iesha and Brother Talib.
Good morning. Why are we not hearing you?
You hearing me better now?
Yeah, I guess so.
Okay. So good morning, Harlem. And
Good morning, Harlem. Go ahead.
Harlem. Absolutely. We are with the community for the last 30-some-odd years, Development Outreach, which is a community-based organization for housing as well as social services. And we have really are delighted to really be with you this morning to be able to talk a little bit about how we can bridge the gap of how we can do the service for the elderly as well as our community at large. So our Development Outreach is a non-for-profit organization, has established in 1977, and it's the address is at 270 Lenox Avenue, and our number is 212-427-0320, and our
I'm going to ask you to hold on for a second. All I wanted to do is have you tell a little bit about yourself.
Oh, okay.
No, but you're doing wonderful. You're doing exactly what you're supposed to do. I was supposed to stop you, but it's all good. One, I want folks to one know that the Shamsuddin family has been doing some wonderful things in our community. And I can't go on air with you on air without saying that. Okay. So we have to recognize that the Shamsuddin family has been very active in the Harlem community for a long time, doing some great things. And a lot of that with Masjid Malcolm Shabazz and just with the surrounding community. So the first thing I want to know is, how did you get into this business of development? And so give us a little background.
Can I go back a little bit?
That's exactly what we're trying to do. Okay. Let's go back.
Let's go back a little bit. You know, in 1962, I came into the Nation of Islam and formulated. Matter of fact, I was on a show yesterday and it talked a little bit about, the history. Next month will be 50 years for me being in the community, the Muslim community, and we have served, with Minister Malcolm. I was there, when the situation took place during the tragedy in 1963, when we had.
You were at the.
I was at the Manhattan Center when that speech was made, and then the next day or so, we sat with Malcolm. Matter of fact, Malcolm and myself, we were in the secretarial department because that's where I was working at as an assistant administrator under Maceo Aziz, and then we were able to talk a little bit about his sitting down by the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, and the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said, "Well, just do 90 days, and hopefully, when things quieted down, because the nation was mourning the death of the President of the United States,
Right,
which was
that was Kennedy.
That was President Kennedy. That was in 1963. Matter of fact, it's November the 22nd.
Wow.
1963. So during that period of time, that took place, and then Malcolm split, with the story. And then we had Minister James Shabazz came in. He taught for about a year or so between Newark and Temple Number 7. And then from that period, then came Minister Louis Farrakhan. And I was working under him, under Minister Louis Farrakhan, as Assistant Secretary under the leadership of Maceo Aziz at that time. And then I became the Secretary in 1974 for Minister Louis Farrakhan, but in between that, I was the business manager for all the businesses throughout the city, with the Fish Force and the Steak and Take and the whole 9 yards. So
you've been a businessman for a very long time.
Well, I've been in the 60s, and if I sat here, I'd waste up the whole hour just talking about the things that we even did in the 50s when I was traveling all over the country, doing the bookkeeping and doing all of the necessary thing for a large institution called at that point Virginia there, known as Spartan Department Stores. And I was the auditor, and I was traveling around the country. I couldn't go in the South because at that time it was a problem.
Right.
But I did do the New England state, the Midwest, and also part of the auditing.
Wow. So I think you should think about, if you haven't already done this, is think about publishing your story.
Yeah, my wife was just mentioning that last night. She says, your grandchildren need to know what's going on,
Right.
because this is really a tremendous impact. We're talking about 50 years of working in the community. Matter of fact, it's really over 50 years. But these are the things that we have done, over the years in terms of just dealing with the community. We didn't even get into the housing piece yet.
Right. Well, let's bring it up to date to the housing piece.
Right.
Tell me how you started in housing development.
What happened is then, after and I don't want to leave off where I stopped. After the Minister Farrakhan came in, and then the leadership, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad passed, and the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan at that point went to Chicago with the W.D. Muhammad, and then W.D. Muhammad, they started working together. And at that point in 1977, we were no longer the secretary because it was change of administration, so they got who they wanted, which is normal. I mean, this is a democracy, so they decided to pick whoever they choose. So me and Rashid Ahmed, the treasurer, at that point, went out and established this corporation in 1977. And this is history because we then got involved with the city of New York. We got a $500,000 contract in 1979. We were able to manage property during that period of time. And at the same time, we met with Bethany Baptist Church, who asked us to manage the senior housing up on 304 West 154th Street, which is a 77 unit. And we established an alliance. So let's interact.
Okay. I think that's wonderful. Tell us what you have available now. We always, one of the things that we love to do, for some reason we have a caller coming in. I hope it's related to our conversation. Let me pick up this line real quick. Good morning. Welcome to Street Corner Resources Live. We are on the air talking with Ismail Shamsuddin. I hope that this call is related to that.
Oh, I'm sorry to disappoint you, but it's not.
Who am I speaking with?
This is Miss Davis from security. You have a guest that's out here.
Okay, you're calling me on the air. You can't do that.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay, just let the guest back. It's fine. You don't have to call me for that. Thank you.
So
I can't believe it.
Yeah. All right. So what happened is that what is available for housing in the year of 2013, we're going to open up the waiting list because these are two federal buildings, which is for seniors only, 62 and over, and which is a very wonderful thing in Harlem because out of what we have in Harlem is 1,000 units with 10,000 people who are elderly or more waiting to be able to receive housing. So housing is very, very important for the elderly. So we are opening up the waiting list starting in January or thereafter, because we have to go through the process with HUD. So that will be open. So once we get the point of when that is available, hopefully we will give you the information. You can announce it.
We need it because we
absolutely.
have folks that are always looking for housing. So right now, you don't have any openings at this point, but soon come.
Yes, but hopefully in January that the waiting list will be open for the 2 buildings. We have one on 154th Street, and we have one on 124th Street. And we also have under construction Bethany Place, which is under Bethany Baptist Church. That will be about 20 some odd units. That's not only for the elderly, but also that's going to be available for families.
Okay.
So that's going to be available, and we're going to make that known. So we're going to stay together from now on, since that we have had an opportunity to be with you.
Wonderful. I think that, one, the ability to develop property in a community where you've grown and developed yourself, I think it's a wonderful thing. I'm really interested in letting our listening audience know how to get in touch with you. I mean, how can they contact you? Or should they contact you directly? Or if they want to know more about what's going on, who could keep them updated on information? Eric, are you the person?
Thank you very much, Sister Iesha, for having us here this morning.
You're welcome.
To contact us.
Just so folks will know, Eric is the son of Ismail Shamsuddin, correct?
That's correct.
Yes, and I heard him speak. He's a wonderful speaker.
Well, thank you
very clear, concise,
Well, thank you very much. To contact us and to learn more about the wonderful resources of Development Outreach, please go to our website. That's developmentoutreachinc.com.
Development Outreach Inc.
.com.
Okay. Now, let me ask you something. We always have to ask about employment opportunities as well. We're always looking for resources, and folks will call me later and say, well, do they have any jobs? So tell us, are there any employment opportunities available at this time?
Well, not at this time. What we are looking for is that when we do open up for, let's say, the new projects, Bethany Place, we'll be posting maybe some of those opportunities on our website, and once we do that, we will let the community know that, listen, we have so many jobs or so many positions that are available, so that way people can be informed, not just housing, but we also want to know what's also for the community as well.
We do, at this point, house about 30 employees as we speak, with regard to the properties that we have at this time. And we also are embarking on the social services. And this is where the jobs comes in at. The social services are under the auspices of Development Outreach as well, for the youth training, after-school program. We also are doing the mentoring for the at-risk with Reverend Williams, the marketing skills of training for youth, the senior meals and nutrition, health and wellness, and youth entrepreneurship. So these are areas that we're going to be looking for counselors, as well as for people engaged in working with the youth, as well as with the seniors who is doing some of the work.
Oh, okay. Sounds
so we're really working, and what we would like is that Development Outreach, and I want to spell the word so this way we can be very clear, is DevelopmentOutreachinc.com.
Okay.
And the number again is 212-427-0320. The fax number is 212-831-8892. These are the areas, but if you go to this website, it's going to really give an indication of what is really taking place.
Well, I want to say thank you for coming in.
Thank you very much.
And, I'm really proud to be able to have men in this studio who are doing great work, such as you and your son, and your whole company, and developing housing and employment opportunities for people in our community. So I just really want to say thank you to Development Outreach Inc. And we hope to have you back. And as things continue to progress, please keep us informed so that we can share those opportunities as resources with our community.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Peace and blessings. We'll be right back. We want you to keep it locked right here. WHCR 90.3 FM. Okay, we're trying to figure out what's going on here. Why aren't we hearing this music? We'll be right back with you.
Did you know that 20 to 25% of the homeless population in America suffers from some sort of mental illness? Mental illness is the third largest cause of homelessness among single adults in the U.S. Substance abuse is also both a cause and a result of homelessness in this country. Both illnesses are problems that plague people in the Harlem community. Organizations in Harlem like Western United provide the homeless who suffer from mental illness and substance abuse issues with housing, but their clients need continued treatment to heal. For more information on how you can help Western United help those who can't mentally or physically help themselves, visit westernunited.org. That's westernunited.org. Rebuilding lives and strengthening communities.
Good morning, Harlem. You're listening to Street Corner Resources Live, WHCR 90.3 FM, where the studio is hot. I'm not sure whose idea it was to turn the heat on.
Good morning.
Good morning. Welcome to Street Corner Resources. Excuse me, we're on the air. Who is this?
This is Miss Brown. What's the phone number again?
What phone number?
To the developing.
Okay. I'm sorry. It's 212.
Yes.
427.
Yes.
0320.
Thank you.
All righty, Fran. Have a wonderful day. Sorry, I was expecting a different call on the line.
Too.
All righty, peace. Anyway, we got it. Go ahead. Talib.
Always wants to give us a shout out to the listeners. He always wants to give a shout out to the listeners. So we have to shout out June, who's a very faithful listener.
Yes, June has been listening faithfully. I'm so grateful for June.
And my father is listening all the way from China.
So big shout out, Brother James.
Brother James.
Okay, big shout out. Well, one thing I want him to know is the thing that I always say to you is that he really raised a really nice son. He's very respectful in your absence. And, you know, I think the proof of our work with our children is who they are when we are not present. And so I always tell Talib, I say, I hope my grandson turns out like you. I'm walking behind him, watching him. And so I said that to him this morning when he came in with his suit on. So I just want your father to hear that.
Also want to shout out my friend Nora, who is over in Liberia right now, letting people know to tune into WHCR.org.
All right. Liberia?
Liberia.
Oh, we got listeners. All right. So we want to move forward. I'm almost not knowing exactly where we're moving. I was thinking we had a caller coming in. So we had a couple of items that we wanted to talk about. I'm going to let you go ahead and take those items, take the lead on it.
Sure. Well, one thing that you mentioned earlier that I just wanted to come back to again, we got to give credit where credit is due. Shout out to Commissioner Kelly and the District Attorney, Cy Vance. There's a story in the New York Daily News. The headline is NYPD and DA sting nabs Manhattan gun peddlers. They netted over 100 guns, and they over
100 guns.
Over 100 guns off the street. And this is the thing that we really need in our community, because I haven't done a lot of intensive research, but I did some light scientific research, and my research has shown there are 0 gun manufacturers in the village of Harlem. Now, I know that may be a shock, but there are 0 gun manufacturers. So
wait, 0 gun manufacturers where?
In Harlem.
Of course.
In Harlem, yeah.
Come on, we don't make the guns.
Scientific research there. So the fact that that the DA and the NYPD was able to get these guns, get this trafficking ring shut down is excellent. One of the really sad things about the case, though, is I think 16 folks that they have rounded up, all but one, that the ringleader was in his 60s. The rest of them are ages 17 to 23 years old.
Young people.
Young people.
And you know, one of the sad things is I realize is that older people are giving younger people the guns.
Right.
And there's something sick about that. That means that you are willing to profit at the expense of the loss of our children in our community. And you know.
Yeah, I mean, the ringleader's in his 60s, so he's, you know.
I suggest that he not see daylight again.
Right. So.
You know what I mean? Like no light, not any light in the prison. You know what? Let him go to the yard? No yard. I hope the DA hears me. Let him go for an hour a day? I don't think so. How about those babies that will never live again? You know, because of the gun that was carried, that was sold and carried and took someone's life. If they netted 100, how many was he selling before that? Right. So I suggest that since, you know, I don't want to get too crazy because I can say some things, but I'll just say that I suggest he not see daylight because we have children that will never see light again and their mothers weep every day. And that it was the hardest thing for some mothers to do was to put their baby in a box and put that baby in the ground. We got Shaka in studio just so that people know who's on the mic. Shaka Amos, you wanted to say something?
Hotep,
peace and blessings.
Absolutely.
Got to stop this violence now. Your new CD.
Stop it right now.
Yeah,
that's right. It's overdue.
Yeah. So just want folks to know, Shaka's in studio. He has a new CD out. It's actually done exclusively for Street Corner Resources and Street Corner Resources Live. And the I Am Peace Project to help stop violence. So good. They netted over 100 guns.
Serious guns too, like AK-47s.
Yes, I saw the AK-47.
Yeah.
Like, you know, what is that? Like, what do you need that for real? You know what I mean?
Right.
The other thing that was kind of on my mind was I had the opportunity to view. I don't even like to say the name of the movie because I'm not trying to give them props. Right. But a particular movie that showed young people killing young people. And these kids were 13 and 12 years old in this particular movie.
Right.
It was sick and insane. And I think the thing that is more sick and insane is the fact that an adult produced it. And not only that, he plans to do a sequel. Right. Now, one of the things about this movie, I'll just say it's called Toddlers, and I'm asking folk not to go out and purchase it. Do not support it in any way, shape, or form. Boycott coming. We got to keep you updated, you know, on that. But we don't want you to go out and buy it. It is young people shooting each other in the head almost at point blank range with no remorse. And one of the things I must say is that there are no consequences for the type of killing that is happening in the movie. There are no consequences, and there's something wrong when you make a movie of young people who are 10, 11, 12, 13, and 14 shooting each other all throughout the movie, and there's not one inkling of consequence.
Are they color?
These are black kids right here in Washington Heights, black and Latino kids. Killing each other, people of color. It's right here in the Harlem community, and the producer of the movie is saying, "Well, this is the reality in Harlem. This is not the reality." Pastor Williams, can you get on this mic? One of the things that I did was after I viewed the movie, I couldn't really sleep. You know, my mind was ill at ease. You know, and I'm saying to myself, this can't be the reality that these kids, I mean, not the reality that I know, and we're out there on the street. Yes, do young people pick up a gun and pull the trigger? Yes, but not to that proportion from what I knew. So I made a few phone calls to verify that. And one person I called was Pastor Williams. Pastor Williams, welcome to Street Corner Resources Live. I guess you remember that phone call I called you the other night, and I said, you know, like, how real is this? And you can respond to that.
Not real. It's fantasized. You know, you find 13 and 14-year-olds. Yes, they'll jump somebody. They might even cut somebody, but most of them won't shoot someone unless unless there's a Mickey in their lives. Mickey is a gentleman's name that was selling the guns. A well-known member of our community, this guy Mickey. But what the reality is that it's persons like Mickey that is making the guns available to older youth.
Wait a minute. Back it up.
What?
Did you say he's making guns available?
Oh yeah, not. I'm not talking about Black Star Video.
Okay.
I was working my way to Black Star Video.
Okay.
Which sets.
But you
up,
said it's persons like him?
like Mickey.
Meaning?
Mickey was the gun dealer that they arrested last
Oh,
week.
right. Okay, I got you.
And which gives light to what the brothers over at Black Star Video did. What they did is they capitalized on the grief in our community to produce a video. And let us say this: it's not just that one video that they put out. There's a series of products that they have put out that puts a blight on our community and glorifies total negativity in our community. So, as we said over our conversation, we need to boycott these turkeys.
Oh, absolutely.
We need to boycott them just like we boycotted the Koreans on Church Avenue. You all remember back when they wouldn't let us go and shop in the Korean store and they would watch us and follow us around. We need to boycott Black Star just like that. And every day during the peak shopping hours, we need to have people out there with picket signs saying until they start giving up a positive black message, they need to be shut down. They need to be shut down because what they're doing is educating young persons to precipitate this poison in our community that is fluctuating in youth genocide, fluctuating in the deterioration of our families, fluctuating in the deterioration of our schools, because the schools now are nothing but encampments. If you've ever been to a school lately, you got to empty your pockets, take off your belt, and walk through a metal detector? What kind of nonsense is I'm on a rant. I'm on a rant.
No, I got you because, I guess people should stay tuned to hear more about the action to take place. Give your telephone number. Okay.
Our calling number is 212-650-6903 to join the conversation. 212-650-6903.
Right, 212-650-6903. We're expecting that. One of the things about this particular movie that I wanted to say, and I'm just going to advance forward to that, is that Kenneth Archibald was killed, and by his own confession, was killed by the young man who is the star in the movie. His name, the young man who's the star in the movie, confessed to being the trigger man in the murder of Kenneth Archibald. We were supposed to have Kenneth.
No, she's
Archibald's
trying to get
mom.
through right now.
Okay, great.
She just, me, I'm Mr. Texas. She
Okay,
just
good. Yeah, so we need to make sure she has the number. On that particular morning, I got a call from young people who were on the street and who were very distraught at seeing this young man lose his life. Actually, he had not lost his life yet. He was going into Harlem Hospital, and young people called and said that they were just tired of seeing young people shot. Hopefully, this is Kenneth's mom. Good morning. Welcome to Street Corner Resources Live. Who's on the line?
Good morning. This is Larry. Your friend Larry from Harlem Sports.
Hi, Larry. We're talking about the shooting that's been happening in Harlem.
It's about time that somebody really hit it where it hurts. You telling the absolute truth. They turn our babies into monsters, and it has to stop.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
It has to stop because they watching all these videos, they watching all these movies, they looking at the news and seeing all these guns that's being put out here so easy. So they getting their hands on them now. They think that the guns that they have are toys. They turn on each other and killing each other.
Absolutely.
It's ridiculous.
Absolutely.
It's ridiculous. And I'm so happy, Iesha, that you hitting this point this morning because I was looking at that, trying to find that movie Tyler so I can watch that movie.
Yeah, do not buy it. Do not buy it. No, don't buy it. If you buy it, then you just look at the trailer on YouTube. You don't really want all of that killing in your head. That's the first thing. The other thing is if everybody buys it because they want to see it, it defeats the purpose to say,
I got you,
right. So do not buy it. Do not buy it. You know, we don't want to support it in any way, shape, or form. If you need to, you can go to YouTube and see the trailer, and that's really enough. And the fact that young man who starred in the movie was the trigger man in the shooter, the confessed shooter in the killing of Kenneth Archibald on 135th Street in Lenox. I'm going to clear the line because we're waiting for his mom to call in. I want to say thank you, Larry. Keep doing what you do, letting young people play basketball, shoot hoops, and not guns. Thank you so much. Peace and blessings. We'll talk to you soon.
Sister Iesha.
All right.
Peace.
Sister Iesha, I need to say this. I believe that Brother Sanchez needs to feel the full weight of the law as far as punishment for the murder of Kenneth. And we have to be very careful that they don't try to use this as some kind of psychological defense mechanism to
he winds up getting off because they'll use the movie and a whole host of other things. To me. Well, anyway, go ahead. Let me let you.
And I make this point because people like to do these little bargaining things and then put the monsters back on our streets so they can start as far as law enforcement and that penal system is concerned. They can just keep it going with the $1 million blocks and things of that nature. We have to put a stop to this as community. As community, we have to put a stop to this. We have to say as community, zero tolerance.
And Reverend Williams, one of the things that I think is that really pains me is that Kenneth, and I remember when that shooting happened. My mother came home and she said, "Oh, they got the police lines on 135th and Lenox." And then I was coming home one day and I saw the youth. The kids, young kids, putting out, when someone gets killed and they put out a poster board and the candles, and then was really sad because this was this past summer. A few weeks later, and I took a picture of this and I posted it on my Facebook page, and I hope that's okay with Kenneth's mother, and I can ask her. It is a picture when it was Kenneth's birthday. A few weeks later, there was a balloon tied to the fence and a sign that said "Happy Birthday, Kenneth," and the candles were still out there. And the thing is, Kenneth, according to the Daily News article, correct me if I'm wrong, was 19 years old.
Yeah.
Just became a young father, had been moved out of the city to protect him from this kind of violence. And the shooter, Jeremy Sanchez, is 16 years old.
Yeah.
And so now our community has effectively lost two young men, not just Kenneth, but also Jeremy Sanchez as well, whose life, even if hopefully we pray that he is able to find some kind of redemption for his activities, but effectively those are two productive or potentially what could have been productive members of our community who have now been taken out.
And I think we do have to entertain the psychological part of this because this came from somewhere. And, the ability to pull a trigger like that. And some said that when he pulled the trigger on the street, that he did it just like he did it in the movie. He pulled his hat back, he leaned back, and he pointed the gun and shot 3 times. Now, one of the things by his own confession, he said that he was actually chasing another kid while his boys was beating up Kenneth, and came back. Because he couldn't find.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, what happened was
we have a call on the line. I just want to get this call. Good morning. Welcome to Street Corner Resources Live. Who's on the line?
Good morning. You have Ms. Brown on the line?
Good morning. Peace and blessings to you. This is Sister Iesha. How are you?
Hi, Sister Iesha. I'm going well.
Okay. I just want to, as always, we want to give you love and light in your loss of your son. We really want to express our condolences and also our joy in the birth of your grandchild.
Thank you so much. Yes, she's a blessing. Thank you so much for that.
Tell me you have an opportunity. We have a few minutes. You have an opportunity to speak to the listening audience. But tell me where you are in this whole case with Jeremy Sanchez. We can't talk about the case. Pastor Williams is saying don't talk about the case. Don't talk about it. I thought with the confession that it's done. It's not. Okay, so talk to us a little bit about, we hardly ever really get a chance to really talk with the mother about the feeling of this. But in a certain sense, if you would allow me to ask you, just what's this been like for you?
Oh, it's been an ordeal. Obviously, I've never imagined losing a child, and especially to violence. And so it's just been a very, very emotional ordeal for me and the family. It's nothing that I've ever imagined that I would experience in life. And, it's just devastating. I'm just so happy, that now I found Harlem Mother Save, and it's helping me a lot in the transition of what I'm going through. But it still makes the situation don't go away. It's still here. It's real. And it's something that we have to go through.
On the I guess it was the early morning of the murder of your son. How did you find out about it? How did you know about it?
Well, we got a call that he was shot and to come to the hospital, but it wasn't a call from anyone, particularly like law enforcement or anybody like that. Just an anonymous called his girlfriend and told her that me and her need to get to the hospital as soon as possible because he's been shot.
And when you got to the hospital, walk us through that.
When we got to the hospital, I honestly found out before I got to the hospital because I sent my cousin calls started filtering in. My cousin called and asked me, did I hear anything? And I'm like, only that he's been shot. And he was not that far from the hospital, so I said, well, I'm on my way.
Right across the street from the hospital.
Can you go and see what's going on? But they wouldn't give no one any information. So at first I figured maybe he needs surgery the most, and I have to consent to it. I never imagined that, I would get there for them to tell me that my son has passed. And, I guess my family was kind of persistent, and then one of them found out, and they called me before I got there. So I kind of knew right before I got to the hospital.
I just really want to let you know that we appreciate you sharing this, and I know that it's not easy, but our listeners and parents and other young people need to hear
the
your
mother
story.
to mother interaction.
Right.
They need to know because I think there's a sense of disconnect. And if the mothers who are grieving can connect with other mothers who aren't there yet,
it's coming. We're going to bring that.
So that's what
We're going to bring that.
Yeah.
One of the things that Street Corner Resources has been working on is to bring this to the parents. We've been doing it at Harlem Renaissance High School. We'll be doing it at some other schools. I'm going to ask you, Pastor Williams, to join me as well, and some of the mothers. But I want to continue to talk with you. What are the days like without your son? I know that when my sister passed, I had to remind myself that my sister was no longer living, and it was difficult.
That's the situation for me. It's very hard because for the longest, it felt like he's away on vacation or at college, or it doesn't seem real still. Little by little now, it's starting to hit me, and I'm realizing I'm not going to get my child back. Dealing with going through, them finding, well, we can't talk about the case, but just going through all these different emotions, and then now it's, it's in the media, and so now I have to deal with it. It's surfacing, so I have to deal with it. I have to cope with that. I won't see my son. And, you mentioned his child. It's a bittersweet because she's such a blessing because I still have a part of him, but then it's all the emotions of he's not here to enjoy that. And it's whereas this child meant so much to him, and I didn't even realize how much he planned for her. And so now those are the things I'm trying to honor his memory in, because he talked so much about her future, so much about what he wanted for her. So I'm just trying my best to live those things out for him.
Miss Brown, I'm hoping that we could get you to come back on.
Okay.
Okay, and maybe even in studio.
Yeah, we'll make that happen. We'll have her here physically because I know it's a better exchange when she's here with you.
Well, and not only that,
Maybe
we want to
get
make
her
sure.
bring little Ken Lee with her too, and y'all can hear the baby cry.
Exactly. we I really would like to have you and some other mothers on as well to share your story because I know it's painful. It's painful for me to hear it. I can't imagine being without my daughter or my grandson, whom I talked to this morning, who, is doing all the things young people do. I can't imagine him not being here. I can't. Just the thought of that makes me sick. But I think that your voice and your story shared with other mothers may in some way help to prevent this kind of thing from happening in other families. That's my hope.
Sister Brown, I need to ask your permission to do something. We're going to boycott Black Star Video. We're going to we're going to do it. We're going to do it, and we're asking your permission. Because I knew your son and I loved him, so I'm gonna rally the community leaders, and we're gonna show them how we do when they do what they do, and we're gonna let it do what it do. In Kenneth's name.
I'm with you 100%.
No. We want the community to do this because you have a lot to deal with. You got little Ken Lee to deal with. You've got the grief to deal with. You've got the court to deal with. Let the community show some love right now.
Okay.
And shut them down until they start giving out a positive message.
And what I've been hearing from the community, they're ready to take care of this. So, but we'll stay in touch, and hopefully we'll have you come back in. Our time is just about up. I want to say, Miss Brown, thank you so much.
And thank you guys for all your support during the funeral and everything, and coming out and support the candlelight. I really appreciate it. I thank you so much for all of that.
You're welcome, and thank you for letting us be a part of your life in that way. It's dear and special to my heart to be able to support you and your family during that time in particular. So we want to stay in touch. We want to get you back on.
Okay.
And I'm sorry that our time is winding down right now. But peace and blessings, light and love. We keep you in our prayers, and Pastor Williams will keep you posted on the action with Black Star Video.
Okay, thank you so much, and God bless and have a good day.
All right, peace and blessings.
Peace.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye-bye. It's a wrap for us. Our time is just about up. Talib, I know you had one or two items that you wanted to say something quickly about.
I'm sorry, I'm just kind of moved from that. From
it's really hard. One of the things is that we've been occupying 129th and 7th Avenue. I have to move forward because I'm a mother, and I'll start crying. So...
Tears are good.
Tears are good, but you know what? We cry a lot in this work. We cry a lot in this work. I mean, you know what I mean? Like it's a lot. I mean, whether it's the tears that you see or the tears that you don't see, that's inside the spirit. We do this more often than I like to even think about.
Yeah.
Oh, I do remember one thing.
We got to save lives.
Yeah, we got to save lives. I entered the new school has a social innovation competition called the New Challenge. And I entered the new challenge with a project called Harlem Peace Partners. We'll send out the link. We need a community vote. We need you to click on the link. We'll let you know about that next week.
All right. Big shout out to the entire community. Much love. Big shout out to Outreach Development Inc. Thank you, Pastor Williams. And we have Amos in studio. I'm going to close with his music. We'll bring him back next Monday. We had a few little technical difficulties, but we'll bring him back next Monday. And of course, big shout out to Harlem Renaissance High School. And we're going to do a remix on this as well. So we're going to do a call out for some artists and folk like that. So peace and blessings. Next voice you'll hear will be that of Brother Leroy. We got to get out of the way. So we'll be back next Monday. Street Corner Resources Live, WHCR 90.3 FM. The song you'll hear is called Stop This Violence. You Can't Bring Them Back. Listen to the words. Done by Shaka Amos.